Hello, 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 my Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Yes, I am back to it. Welcome to your twin flame reading. Timeless, though I'm doing it in April, so this will probably arch between April and May for 2020. I am your reader, Angelo, Lyons for short. President of Joining the Circle Productions, professional witch, professional intuitive, and really happy to be doing this for you. I just had a private client for an hour on Facebook Messenger. Was really good. I took the day off yesterday, did stuff around the house, slept, ate, and still live streamed on YouTube 11 a.m. and 11 p.m. So I'm here. I'm queer. You're probably used to me by now. Let's get down to business. If you are new to my channel, please do like, subscribe, comment at will, and hit that notification bell because I actually do read the comments. And if you simultaneously get a thumbs up and a heart, that's me. And sometimes I reply and sometimes I don't, because sometimes it's just like, otherwise I'm just saying thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. But I truly do mean it. Let's get down to business for this reading now. I am not going to talk about what's going on in the world, but let us say what's going on in the world right now really put me off of doing twin flame readings for last month because it just didn't feel right. If you can't be hooking up with people in the romantic sexual sense, twin flame, soulmate, all of that, tricky as hell, right? And just my gut was saying, everybody's focused on other stuff right now. And it's like, obvi, got it. But this time around, they gave me the go-ahead in what is a true change of venue in terms of twin flame readings. It's really between maybe 8 and 12 cards, working with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different decks. We're going to be doing Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine. We'll get to that. But really, this is called the Twin Flame Teacher Read, because Twin Flame contracts, you are taught how to love yourself, how to heal yourself, how to approve of yourself, how to forgive yourself. It's a lot of self-work because the other person by soul contract can't give it to you. So please do check out the video that I did, as well as the one that Matt Kahn did, sort of clarifying, redefining twin flames and soulmates, because they are not the same thing. And I see people like, I just want to meet my twin flame. I'm like, oh honey, you've had thousands of them throughout your lifetimes. What you're really wanting is the satisfying sexual, intimate, romantic soulmate contract, which is different, but you need a crap ton of twin flames before we're ready for that. And you have soulmates in your life. You help each other heal. That's that contract, right? My mom is my soulmate. I have lots of people in my lives. We help each other heal. We are soulmates, soul family. But my father was a twin flame, right? And I have dated more twin flames than I've dated soulmates. So, honey, you have come to the right witch on this one. That's why this reading is going to be really looking at whatever twin flame contracts you are in right now. It does not have to be sexual romantic, mind you, but that are teaching you what each of you are learning individually. Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine has nothing to do with bodily gender, has to do with energetic dynamic. You may have to feel out which one you are as you go. That's why we're starting with the Caroline Myss archetype cards. They're usually a good start for that. But if you remember to breathe as we go, then you'll get, this is a general read. Let me take what resonates and leave what does not by how it's feeling in my body. And if something really triggers me and I just keep going and it never plays out that way, great. Then the triggering was telling me that it wasn't me in the general reading that was being hit on there. But then if it shows up, you can go, okay, so that was an intuitive response telling me that that actually was written in the quantum future of the timeline I'm currently traversing. Shall we do this? Please breathe. The more we're breathing consciously, deliberately, partnering with our breath, the more respiration, the more inspiration you get when I'm talking. So let's do this. I'm excited to do this reading. I just did this for my last client, so this is pretty cool. Ready? Nice deep breath. Maybe take a few. Here we go. All the decks that I work with are in the description box at the bottom. We're starting with the Caroline Myss archetype, one for the Divine Feminine, then one for the Divine Masculine. Always ladies first here on Drawing the Circles YouTube channel. Here we go. My collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved. Please, one card in clarity for this Aries collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, whether them or the cross watchers, because I bet we're going to get a ton of cross watchers on these reads. Please, what is the card, the perfect archetype card to represent the divine feminine in this Aries collective twin flame, teach me, teacher contract, twin flame teachers, and one for the divine masculine, please. Thank you, my collective pantheons. So look, these are the two people, the two souls. You're one of them most likely, but feel it out. Might take you a minute to feel out which one, because some archetypes we all share. Some of them we might have in a different intensity than someone else. Eau de toilette, cologne, perfume, different levels of power or strength. So while it might be dominant in somebody else, we might be identifying with it and it's still talking about them, or vice versa. You get what I'm saying? So this is a real breathe, feel. We've got the wounded child and the storyteller. Shit, here we go. The divine feminine wounded child in the shadow blames all dysfunctional relationships on childhood wounds, resists moving on through forgiveness. So get that forgiveness is a great big part of this, but forgiveness is a quality and an action of the soul, certainly not the ego. Personality, not too thrilled about it anyway, but the child is the one who can forgive in the light here, awakens compassion and desire to serve other wounded children, opens the learning path of forgiveness if the child is willing to learn how to forgive. Now, I'll be totally honest with you, I'm a student and teacher of Course in Miracles. That teaching system saved my psychological life, if not my physical life, a number of occasions. But it's not easy. And if we knew how to forgive, we would, because the systems of forgiveness that we were raised with, depending on your age, are toxic, right? Like, be the bigger person, forgive them so that they can do it to you again. I totally understand why people reject it and call it the F word, the forgiveness word. But there is quantum forgiveness. There is understanding that we are all one, and hurt people, and when we forgive anybody, essentially we're forgiving ourselves. And I know that gets very cliche, but there are so many opportunities to heal, to learn, to grow through forgiveness, and twin flames are exactly that patterning. So what if you are learning divine feminine wounded child, whether you are the Aries, whatever, or not here, are you willing to learn how to forgive, even if you never have to speak to or deal with or confront this storyteller ever again? Is it worth it? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. It's a process. Like a child. You don't expect a child to understand advanced algebra. Fuck, I'm 51 and I still can't. Mixing letters and numbers, just blasphemy. Let's look at the divine masculine storyteller. Now, at first, with the child, it's like, oh, remember, this does not have to be romantic sexual. Oh, a storyteller and a wounded child. Oh, but storytellers are liars. 2. The shadow attribute, making up tales that harm others. Like telling them something they want to hear so you can get over on them. I mean, fuck, we all do it. We lie to ourselves, right? Telling tales, making up tales that harm others, like malicious, false gossip and stuff like that. Yeah, really toxic. The shadow's supposed to be toxic. It's lead. Lead is toxic. The light attribute, ability to experience and express life through stories and symbols, which I think this is part of the survival family. Everybody has the wounded, everybody has the child archetype. Not everybody has the wounded child archetype, supposedly. The storyteller is part of the creative family, so you can see the creative soul expression there, both in the light and in the shadow, the angelic as well as the demonic, to be able to express life through symbols and stories is exactly what I'm doing here. Exactly what readings and divination essentially are about. It's looking at the soul's perspective, the soul's point of view, but in this case of how this twin flame relationship that you are in, soul contract, agreed to it before you came down into the body, is teaching you what it's teaching you. Now, by the time we're done, we're going to have one line of energy here for the feminine, one for the masculine. You're going to see what you are both learning, and then the center column is going to be, so here's what you're learning individually, what you are teaching each other collectively. It's a cool spread. And rather than pull one card for the god, one card for the goddess, and one card for the angel, I'm using this new one. The angels, gods, and goddesses deck. Everything's listed below if you want to check it out. I like this one a lot. Doesn't name the gods by name, it names them by title, by function, which I like. Good for an eclectic, right? Because I go with my Greeks and my angels. I know what angels do what for the most part. I've read their resumes. Breathe. As we're going to get one of these for each of them here, the divine feminine wounded child as well as the divine masculine storyteller. Here we go. My angels, gods, and goddesses, please, one card each for this Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Twin flame teacher read. What is it that they're teaching each other? What are they teaching each other? What are the gods, the goddesses, and the angel powers with them that they are teaching? Either they're being taught or they are being the teachers of. Sometimes both is true. One for this divine feminine wounded child, thank you very much, and one for this divine masculine storyteller. Again, these are timeless readings, but I'm doing them in April 2020. Whenever they are supposed to come across them is when it will be applicable. So the wounded child has the angel of joyfulness. Something wondrous and magical is about to happen. Now, that's really cool for the wounded child, right? But something about the path of forgiveness, that it is through forgiveness that joy rises. Joy is supposedly the natural state of the soul. Always under there somewhere, right? Like the sun always shining. But like today on Long Island, it is overcast. Doesn't mean the sun is gone, right? Doesn't mean that we have no joy. It's just obscured. So as a result of really alchemizing, using this relationship to teach yourself, to learn, you're being taught how to forgive from that child so that it heals. Something wondrous and magical is about to happen. The angel of joyfulness. Digging that. Nothing like a joyful child, right? And what's our divine masculine storyteller god here? The goddess of shadows. What you perceive to be your dark side holds a hidden treasure. Storyteller, why are you telling stories? What are you afraid of? When there is something inside of you that you are afraid of, that you are trying to cover up, that is actually a hidden treasure. When you perceive, what you perceive to be your dark side holds a hidden treasure. Now, let's not kid ourselves. This is the goddess of shadows. We're talking Hecate. In the Greeks. I mean, I could translate that into as many different pantheons as you like, but I'm going to stick with my Greeks right now because I'm trying to keep these readings relatively short and not be about theology and mythology, which I speak like I breathe air. So just keep that in mind. This is an emotional thing then here if we're looking at the goddess stuff, the stuff that you are literally afraid of, what you consider your shadow side. Keeping in mind that twin flames are transformative relationships. Transformation is the verb of alchemy, although alchemy itself is a verb as well as a noun. These twin flame relationships are often the crucible, the thing that holds us in place, even if we're miles away from each other, right? Even if we can't be anywhere near each other, doesn't matter, right? It's like, doesn't matter how far away they are or how long it's been. They're still holding you in the fires of transformation here to embrace your shadow and to heal the lead to gold. What look at the stories you're telling. Honor your stories, honor your story. But that is so powerful there for the divine masculine in general, regardless of sign. What you perceive to be your dark side holds a hidden treasure. And yeah, there might be pain in there, but what's underneath that pain is usually genius and creativity and trapped energy that is ready, that the world might need right now. So this already seems a very, very powerful twin flame contract here. One in terms of regaining their innocence through forgiveness, and the other one really getting, I've been telling this story the wrong way to myself, where really I'm not a horrible, manipulative person, but I've been horrified and manipulated. So, okay, I am on a healing journey that I have wisdom and perhaps great love to share and express as well. Feels really good, guys. Just saying. Let's get you voices from the higher selves, the whispers of love, one for each of both of them. See? Clipping along, right? You know me. If I do a twin flame spread, I want to do like 2 Celtic cross spreads, one for each, and a path down the middle to see, this is easier. Less info to have to digest too. And hopefully fun for you. Embrace the shadow. Breathe. All right, higher self collective. 2 cards, one for the divine feminine, one for the divine masculine in this Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Twin flame teacher read for April 2020, but timeless. Whenever they're supposed to see it is when they're supposed to see it. This is playing itself out across the quantum one way or the other. So please, one for the Divine Feminine wounded child, please. Yeah, that was 2. Just 1, please. 1 for the Divine Feminine wounded child. Thank you very much. And 1 for the Divine Masculine story. 1 for the Divine Masculine Storyteller, please. Thank you, Higher Self Collective. The Divine Feminine, express love through gifts. Giving a small token to someone expresses your love for them. Well, certainly if you've got the Angel of Joyfulness and you're on this path of forgiveness, right? Allowing the innocence of that child to maybe see this storyteller as another wounded child, right? What is this? Awakens compassion and desire to serve other wounded children. So if you've already identified yourself as the Divine Feminine, is it possible? Can you see that there is a wounded child in this storyteller, which might very well be the shadow that holds great treasure for them, but that they might be terrified of feeling that pain. Now let's keep in mind, Aries' first house is the first sign of the zodiac, therefore the child of the zodiac, and this is your birth time, Aries sons. So perhaps a time of pressure. So whether you are, the Divine Feminine or the Divine Masculine here, there's something here about gifts. Express love through gifts. Giving a small token to someone expresses your love to them. Well, what if it is birthday time? And what if you can't be within the same physical space with them? And what if it's like, well, what if I say this and it triggers them? Feel it out, but only really send it when you're coming from a place of joyfulness, that you send it from that place of joyfulness as a gift of one healing wounded child to another, wherever they are in their healing journey, because it'll be a gift to you as well. And then however they receive it, that's not your problem, right? Just don't put a hook in it. Don't put a hook in it like a passive-aggressive gift. Here, I sent you this self-help library because I care for you, right? It's like saying you're just so fucked up you need books, right? Passive-aggressive gift giving, something we need to look at. Like giving somebody, breath freshener or deodorant. For the Divine Masculine here, the storyteller with this Goddess of Shadow embracing, so funny, Goddess of the Shadow, what you perceive to be your dark side holds a hidden treasure. What does your higher self say? Embrace your emotions. Don't push down your feelings or judge your emotions. So yeah, we are looking at a time of emotional healing here for the Divine Masculine storyteller. Now, I will say the Divine Feminines have been doing this emotional healing stuff for a long time, other lives and whatnot. The Divine Masculines, because their actions are being truncated by the current situation we're in the world, you can imagine there's a lot of introspection, a lot of confusion. I don't know what to do. I don't know who I am because I can't do, right? Well, embrace your emotions. Don't push down your feelings or judge your emotions, but also don't let them rule your behavior, right? Like how many walls you want to punch, right? How you allow yourself to embrace it, because underneath all of that pain there is a treasure in there. So what is the shadow? Our disowned stuff, the stuff we don't want to look at. I'm going to face the light. Let me push that back there. Nope, doesn't exist. Until a weak moment, and then it takes you over, called shadow possession. Great fun. Not so much, but transformative. So that's your individual lines, like what is going on within your individual energy field, so that you kind of get that sense of who you are and who the other is, perhaps in your life. Again, this does not have to play itself out as romantic sexual. For some of you, it will be. For some of you, this could easily be parent-child, or sibling, or friend, or even someone at a distance on TV that's triggering you. It could play itself in all of those things. But this center lane, as it will, is where the numbers will shift. It's not exactly an 8-card spread. It depends upon these cards. The Chuck Spezzano Love Pack. There are 4 suits: the problem, luck, healing, and grace. We're going to keep pulling cards until we get one of the other 3. Half of the deck is the problem suit. Let's see how many come out. We'll see how it goes. Breathe. The Ascended Masters of Twin Flame Contracts, please. Yeah, we're specializing. Please. We'll start with 1 card in clarity for this Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, Twin Flame Teacher contract here for the Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, April 2020 or Timeless, please. One card in clarity, please, so we can start off with what we're looking at here. All right, we've got one of the problem cards. Cynicism. Cynicism. Now, cynicism, you know, there's nothing wrong with the root of cynicism, which is, let me see what actually is. Right? It's in a bit, it's like being a cynic is a means to an end, right? To gathering truth, to seeing things clearly. I want to see clear no matter how what it means. I'd rather see clearly than not. However, in this deck in particular, we've got two people canoodling on a bench and somebody up in the rafters dumping her trash on them. It's like, it's an attitude problem, and let's call it what it is, a childish. Most cynicism, look, I love cynical humor. I love cynical humor. I do. I was raised on it like mother's milk. Okay, I'm from New York. I was raised by a teacher and a lawyer. Witty banter, you know. I'm down with it. But in a twin flame contract, you got to understand that someone's projecting their pain then, right? It's like they're not dealing with their pain. That could be either one of these. So it's being very cynical, either about the other person or about the relationship. No, it's just going to end up, it's like the bad attitude card. Let's keep going. One more, please, my Ascended Masters. One more for this Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame teacher. So that's part of the problem. That's part of the curriculum that they're dealing with. What else you got? Okay. So here we go. You got the card of grace. Now I'm going to stop there. If another problem card had come up, I would have read it and then pulled another one until we got one of these other three suits. So the happiness here is that you are learning the grace of happiness. Now that does seem to reflect more on the angel of joyfulness here, but to then look at the goddess of shadow here on the masculine side of things, that there might be underneath this shadow a treasure of hidden repressed happiness, like how we won't let ourselves be happy because of cynicism. Cynicism is a shield, sure, but what if it's also preventing the innocence to be happy? That could be on either side, right? So very interesting. Pray for the grace. Give me the grace of happiness, my true state. Okay, maybe joy light, right? Because there's joy, which moves me to tears, and happiness, which is just like carbonated bubbles. It's just a different vibe. I'm a Pisces moon. I know what my feelings feel like, and then they change. So there's something there about being happy within yourself, about happiness is a decision I must make. I get it. Your own cynicism, you may be sort of pissing on your own happiness because of what you've been through or what's going on in this relationship, because what the other person has, says, does, all that kind of stuff. I get it. But this is now the grace it's saying, but they're teaching me, this relationship's teaching me that only I can make me happy, and that it's something inside of myself. Course in Miracles, happiness is a decision I must make. Google that. You'll get a lot of words on it, but happiness is ultimately a decision, how we see things, and it's interesting with that card of cynicism, because cynicism is sort of like peeing in your own Cheerios, so to speak. Last card down, you knew I was going to get you a Matt Kahn healing mantra deck. It's a twin flame contract. How could I not? Nice deep breath. From the Ascended Masters as well. The Ascended Masters of Twin Flame Contracts, please, one card in clarity. What is the ultimate healing mantra for this Aries collective? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. For April 2020, though timeless, whenever they see it. The perfect healing mantra, doesn't matter who they are, if it's the Divine Feminine Wounded Child archetype or the Divine Masculine Storyteller archetype, please, what is the perfect, no, that's two, we're only getting one, please, just one for this Aries collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, there you go, Venus sign, twin flame contract. Helping, teaching each other how to heal. Twin flame teachers. Unraveling codependence. What the fuck do you know? Unraveling codependence. Only I have to feel good about my choices. Only I have to feel good about my choices. Only I have to feel good about my choices. Bring back my girls. Which people don't realize it comes from the pride of Miss Jean Brodie. Bring back my girls. older gay men, we have a lot of wisdom. Unraveling codependence. Only I have to feel good about my choices. When codependency unravels, you are able to move freely in the direction of your heart's desire without needing permission from others. Hello. In other words, your happiness is not dependent upon what anybody else is doing. It's a choice you must make. As codependency fades, you are able to honor the emotional reactions of others as crucial stages of their healing journey without taking responsibility for them. In other words, let's say, I'm getting my act together and taking it on the road. I am out of here. And they're like, you can't go. I will die without you. Well, then there's a dependency there. No, you won't die without me. This emotion that you're experiencing is what? Says it right here. Their emotional reactions of others, crucial stages of their healing journey. So being codependent really dwarfs other people's healing. Yeah, you think you're suffering them, you're sparing them pain and suffering, but it's temporary. They're gonna have to face it all eventually, right? It's a very intense card. You're not responsible for what other people feel. I know it's a total twist on what we've learned from, but if it's really about your own choices and your own freedom, you're putting loving yourself over loving somebody else. This mantra is ideal for healing family dynamics. Like I said, this could totally be within a family. Cultivating emotional freedom, which isn't freedom from bad emotions. It means the freedom to feel it all as you heal it all. And reclaiming personal power. Seems to spell it out pretty clearly. Let's pop up the picture and see what else reveals itself. Magic clap. Ooh, piece of candy. We start off with the divine feminine here, with the shadow attribute. Blames all dysfunctional relationships on childhood wounds. Resists moving on through forgiveness. The light attribute awakens compassion, and desire to serve other wounded children. Opens the learning path of forgiveness. And with that angel of joyfulness there, I bet you anything that as this divine feminine begins even moving towards that light, this sense of joy will come gradually but surely, because something wonderful and magical is about to happen. You could say miraculous in terms of forgiveness here and being set free. And then it feels like it's very safe for her to express love through gifts. Remember, we're not talking about biological gender here. This could be very, very simple. This could be a gift of prayer. This could be an anonymous gift, in a way, vibrationally. Giving a small token to someone expresses your love to them, particularly if it is a family member going through a lot of stress that perhaps is a little cynical, or maybe you have been. Just say, I do care. Everything aside, we are family, and I love you, and I hope you're okay. And have a good day. Something as simple as that. It does say small token. Let's jump over here to the divine masculine. We've got making up tales that harm others in the shadow, which, can be a family dynamic as well as anything else. Light attribute, ability to experience and express life through stories and symbols. And we do like storytellers, right? We like storytellers in our artists, in our musicians, in really all forms of art, dance, visual art. But when somebody has the ability to spin a yarn, they can take us on a soul journey, or really sell an Eskimo snow, particularly the yellow variety, right? About that bridge in Brooklyn that you're looking to unload cheap. Tricky shit there, divine masculine. But with the goddess of shadows, what you perceive to be your dark side holds a hidden treasure. And I think that's all about the stories that you tell, that maybe something that's been highly traumatic for you, that perhaps you've had a piece of codependency, really has given you some golden wisdom that you can share through telling your story. And keeping in mind, embrace your emotions. Don't push down your feelings or judge your emotions. Now, not usually the purview of the divine masculine, but things are moving fast. So really, we're talking about embracing your emotions, and the goddess of shadows is about embracing the shadow. Really a shamanic thing, but a psychological as well. And then here from the Ascended Masters, the problem is cynicism and the grace is happiness. That this is a mental attitude thing. We're in a different world now, right? You do not have to be best buddies with this person. You do not have to please them, as we see in that unraveling codependency mantra. Only I have to feel good about my choices. But that's going to really set you free in terms of your happiness expressing itself, perhaps for the divine feminine, expressing love through gifts, and from the divine masculine, embracing your emotions of happiness. This is what you are both teaching each other and what you are both being taught. So keep in mind the cynicism. When it pops up, just say, right in this moment, happiness is a decision I can make. Will I or won't I? But only I have to feel good about my choices as I unravel codependency in this twin flame contract. That's pretty clear. Not bad for the first one of the series. Kind of really psyched. And the sun just came out. Yay. I think I'll do some yoga outside on break. So, may the Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs be blessed I should say, their twin flame teacher contracts for April 2020 are timeless whenever they are watching it, that they may heal, that they may grow, that they may evolve and become the best that they can be, unraveling codependency and all that jazz for the well-being of all. So mote it be. And so it is. Thank you for watching. Please do like, subscribe, comment below if this makes sense to you. If you know who it is, which one you are. I find that fascinating, the feedback. But until then, and until we meet again, wishing you the very best and the very blessed in your twin flame contracts in general. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.